What up, cappers, gamblers, punters, low baggers, hustlers? Happy Friday to you all. It's Friday, October 19th. This is Loshak and the Bag Show. My name is Jimmy the Bag, and I'm sitting, as always, beside the legend, Peter Loshak, off a very interesting night. Another winning day in NHL and NBA. But again, just like always, get destroyed in Major League Baseball. Worse on the show with units than I did with cash, but still ended up okay cash-wise last night, barely. Keep giving too much back in MLB. Just an absolute horrifying season for me. But, Peter, I am in first place in SBR's NBA contest out of 80 people.
No way.
I know you always ask how many people are in it, so I wanted to get 80 people. I'm in first place. First place in SBR's NBA competition. I'm 7-1 in the competition.
That's right.
I'm 8-1 on my bets, and I'm 8-2 on the show.
That's what I was going to say. No one cares how you're doing in the competition. They care about your picks in the show. The picks of the show, 8-2. Jimmy the Bag, high five.
Let's do that again.
High fucking five. Once again, yesterday in NBA, I tailed other people's recommendations on the first half over in the Portland game, and that was a winner. I also tweeted out a pick on my own that was based on my own handicapping, and once again, that was a loser. So I broke even. So now I am, overall in the NBA, I am 5-6, but if you don't count the plays that I made myself, I'm 5-2. 5-2 on listening and tailing. 5-2 on listening and tailing on plays based on my own handicapping. I'm 0-4. I had the Chicago Bulls second half yesterday, which was just a terrible play, Jimmy the Bag. And in NHL, good news, bad news. The good news, I guess, is that all the leans that I had and the plays that I bet that I didn't give as picks won, so I'm a little bit of recidivism back there. I actually had a losing day on the official picks that I gave, but I said in the show, I was like, if you take Chicago and the Islanders, probably one of them win. Turns out both of them won.
You mean Arizona and the Islanders?
Arizona, right? Yeah. Sorry, Arizona and the Islanders. Turns out both of them won. I was also leaning. I was asking about LA team total under 2.5 at plus 150. You remember that one?
Yeah.
That one cashed. I did have the balls to give the Islanders first period plus a half, which was a smart play, and I cashed on the overs in the Buffalo game. But overall, I had a losing day on the picks in NHL, but the leans were winners, and that's just I gotta get some balls to give these. It's so hard to give. It's easy to get balls on a total. You know what I mean? But when it comes to a big underdog, it's a lot harder to find balls. You know what I mean? Arizona looked on paper. They're just a weak team, right? The Islanders kind of too, but I knew that there was good spots for them. I bet both of them, and I talked about it in the show, and it's just frustrating that I didn't give it as official picks.
I really feel like we're going to start rolling. There was a lot of good going on. I told you guys that the Blackhawks do not deserve ever to be a favorite at all this year, and the only time we take them is when some excellent hockey team comes into Chicago and makes the Blackhawks a dog. I told you guys the Sharks are going to start smashing people. Remember I said as soon as their power play starts rolling, we make money off of them. I say from now on, at home, we take a -1.5 every single game for the rest of the year. Now that can change, but right now that is what I'll be doing.
Wait,
I feel
on Chicago,
on the San Jose Sharks at home.
Really?
Absolutely. They're just a very, very skilled hockey team, and they're not even close to where they're at. I just knew that even though we don't like backing teams on the first game after a road trip, that they were going to put the hammer down on those Sabres, and that's what they did. They were up 2-0 5 minutes in, 2 power play goals, making things look very easy. Yeah. We doubled up in the Winnipeg game, -1.5 and the under. A lot of good is happening in the NHL, and I think it will continue to happen. Now, in NBA, I feel, oh, shit.
No, that's
sorry.
okay. While you're doing that, I was going to say, I'm sorry, I'm a little off my game. I didn't mean to say no one cares about your I was setting up the positivity. It's like when I talk about how I beat the prick, and then I'm like, but no one cares about what I did in some contest. You know what I'm saying, Jim?
It's all good.
Yeah, I was setting it up to highlight and underscore your awesome record in the show, is why I said that comment. You know what I'm saying, Jim?
Yeah, no, I would never even, what's Kobe
right?
Valentine saying? Off 2 games, LOL, come on now. I'm not sure. Oh, okay.
He's talking about San Jose.
Something else, yeah. But I really, truly believe that some of these teams are going to give us a ton of value moving forward. I think the Detroit Red Wings took another step in the right direction. Even though we faded them on the puck line, they took another step in the right direction. I expect the Red Wings, as soon as they get one more defenseman back, to give us a ton of value.
Yeah.
I like where we stand. Again, and Scotty Rock says, agreed on the Sharks. I think they're going to just pay us money. They're just going to give us money, taking them at home, -1.5, maybe even on the road too. Basketball-wise, we're running with some incredible NBA cappers.
Unreal.
And that's why we'll probably keep this rolling. Also, the parlay that I gave Elio at the end of the show, the 2 -1.5s, both cashed very easily. Feels very good I feel very hopeful. I just need the baseball season to end as soon as possible.
Yeah, all right. And then some other comments. Someone said,
Yais.
Yes,
Optional misery erased. Stanford -3. All you guys on Stanford, great play. My man Ryan Taylor trying to get me off the under in that Georgia State game I wish I followed.
Dionysus says, time for me to learn from Pete and start listening and tailing the heroes for a bit. Yes, so Dionysus is listening to me about listening to other people. Interesting there, a little meta listening going on there. And then someone else, hold on one second. Yes, and then the under in the Stanford game. Again, look at that. Look at how the market went. And look at that, before that line came out, I said, I'm going to be leaning under here. Then there was a 6-point move to the over. It got up to 60. And obviously you can't ignore that, right? I don't know what caused that move. Then it went back down to 57.5, and luckily I had the balls to give the under. I talked about how I was leaning from before the line even came out on that one, and I'm just mystified as to why and how that line got bet up 6 points. Some big money must have come in on the over, and I just don't get it. Who did that and why? But it just goes to show you that you never want to ignore the market, but things like that do happen. Went from 54.5 all the way up to 60 or 60.5. The under was always the right play there. Even at 54.5, at 60.5, it was ridiculous. And you want to pay attention to moves like that. But, at times, trust your handicapping more than the market, I think is the answer there.
I think that's the answer there. It's hard to do, especially with the Pac-12.
Yeah, and then the other, because the lesson is that even though, the market can be moved by people who are even dumber than you are at handicapping. You know what I'm saying? You're like, well, I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. But then later on, it turns out that the people who bet that line up knew even less about what the fuck they were doing than you did. You know what I'm saying?
I do.
Now, there are sometimes, obviously, a lot of market moves are caused by sharp action, people who know a lot more about what they're doing than you do. But sometimes those moves are caused by people who know even less about what they're doing than you do.
I hear that.
Feel me?
Shout out to Theodore McIntosh, iRetro Star, Teddy B, myself, everybody. Oh, King Rail, everybody who liked the Blazers last night. Beautiful work.
Yes.
Beautiful work by us. And we're rolling.
Yeah, and then Jim Tobleson says, Pete told you to stay off Sabres. Yes, I think in retrospect, the Sabres were the wrong play, but I don't regret betting that bet. The thing I regret, though, is not giving the Islanders, although I did give them a first period. The thing I regret betting is not giving the Islanders, not giving Arizona, and not pulling the trigger on Tampa Bay and Winnipeg when I liked them. That would have been 5 extra units that I would have right now, and it would be a big, those are all leans and all cash.
Our man Marty Baller in the house joining us today, Friday, October 19th. He says, I keep replaying the show 2 days ago from when Pete read my comment. I show all my friends.
Oh, yeah. What comment was that?
I don't know. Now I understand why Pete takes his comments seriously.
Yes.
Love this show. We love you, Marty Baller.
Yes. And now we just read another comment. There you go. The Dionysus was listening to me, listening to other people, and now Marty Baller, we're reading a comment about how he is so happy that I read one of his comments. So there's a lot of meta shit going on today. A lot of meta stuff going on in the video, Jim.
A lot of meta stuff, but Elio Rodriguez keeping us focused. First off, DJ Big Boss say fade the Lakers on the road till further notice. Shout out to DJ Big Boss. We will do that. We have a DJ Big Boss video today. I'm so excited to air it. Fridays are always more fun because we got a Big Boss video. Also, a Sunny Vega video today. We got Sunny Vega, DJ Big Boss. Those videos will be shown in the afternoon show. And Elio Rodriguez says, let's not pat ourselves yet. We got a big slate of games this weekend and little time to cover. Yeah. Let's get at it.
All right, let's get into it. Okay, I guess let's start with MLB, right? Jimmy the Bag yesterday. Price. I mean, look at what happened. Unreal.
Unbelievable. 3 days rest.
Yeah. Houston, wow. It just goes to show you, no matter how great, no matter what heights you ascend to in life, shitting the bed is always a possibility. And the Houston Astros apparently did that, right?
Oh, God.
Unreal.
I can't ever come here feeling great.
Yeah.
There's always something that gets me, and it's always been baseball all year long. Just a horrifying season. I just want it to end.
All right, so we got Game 6 in the Dodgers-Milwaukee game. Now, I'm thinking about maybe Milwaukee on the second half and maybe the Dodgers' first half team total over to hit Miley. Of course, we don't know exactly how deep Miley will go. I suspect he'll go a few more pitches deeper than he did in his last game. But I think that probably, I'd be leaning Dodgers' first 5 team total over and then Milwaukee second half. That's just how I was leaning. I did take a small shot with Milwaukee as a home dog. I think they probably win this one now that the line has moved where it's minus 105 on both sides roughly. I'm not sure if I'd want Milwaukee here, but I'm definitely leaning Milwaukee. But we need Milwaukee second half stronger and maybe the Dodgers first half team total over. What do you think, Jim?
Oh, God. I've capped the shit out of this game, but I'm not going to make a play. I'm just done losing on MLB. First off, though, Mr. Goxer says, take my Belleville Suns tonight versus Hartford.
No way.
Take my Belleville.
No
Sens-
way. Okay, I'll
Sens
look
tonight.
into that. What time is that?
First period. Just first period
Okay.
on the puck line.
I will look into that. I will look into that.
That's AHL. That will be tonight. I kept the hell out of this game. The only reason why I would give a play is just so you guys could fade it to make money. And then I know that won't work. I know if I'm giving a play hoping that that the opposite will come through, then that won't happen.
Not necessarily, Jim.
I know. Also, no Loshak says take Buffalo +3 now -1. I have Buffalo by a TD versus Toledo. Interesting. Noah Lastar coming to quickly copy and paste that.
He likes Buffalo over Toledo. Okay,
let's get into this. Dodgers, let's talk about their offenses first, then we'll break down what's going on with the pitch. Dodgers 10 for 43 with runners in scoring position. Not very good numbers, but God, Brewers are just not hitting with runners in scoring position. They are 5 for 35 in the series, 1 hit in their last 11 opportunities. Kane and Yelich, these incredible table setters, are not doing the job. They've looked so good all year long. Yelich is 3 for 20. Kane 6 for 24. 7 for 36 with 10 strikeouts in the postseason. I'm just talking about 3 for 20 in this series for Yelich and 6 for 24 in this series. Offensively, they're a mess. 16 runs, 219 average, 653 OPS against the Dodgers. They've scored 16 total runs in the series. They're just not playing well. So far against lefties in the postseason, 234, 692. But that is because they were somewhat successful in that first division series. Wade Miley's looked very good in the postseason. 0.68 whip, has not allowed to run in 10 in the third. Both lefties and righties have trouble hitting off of him. Brewers relievers, 3.74 ERA. You knew when to believe in them.
Yeah,
Do you
I
still
believe in
them
them tonight. Yeah, I'm leaning. I'm only getting -105 on that one, but I'm definitely leaning that way for sure right now. Let's see. Theodore McIntosh says Ryu on the road is hittable, and hold on one second. And Nikki P Baby Boy says hostile Milwaukee crowd tonight. Place will be chaotic. Yes, I'm leaning Milwaukee. I'm leaning Milwaukee second half, and maybe a shot with the Dodgers first 5 team total over. Anthony L likes the Dodgers though.
Anthony L liking the Dodgers tonight. Interesting. Dodgers starters have struggled in this series, but their bullpen's been great. Bullpen's been lights out. 1.25 ERA and 21 2/3. Their starters have struggled. 4.10 ERA. Ryu looked like a monster until his last start. Ryu's good.
Great. Yes, I don't like fading him at all. Yes.
Dodgers are hitting 216, 684 OPS so far in the postseason, but that's mainly with their success versus righties. Versus lefties in the postseason, 191, 538 OPS versus lefties. Very difficult to trust the Dodgers here against lefties. It's very, very difficult to trust their offense at all. This is a tough spot. What are the Brewers on the money line right now?
The Brewers, well, they opened up as a small dog. Now it's almost close to -105 on both sides.
Wow. And Dionysus is giving more AHL plays. So cool. Phantoms
Nice.
and the Baby Pens are playing each other tonight. Both clubs print cash, he says. Scotty Rock.
I'm copying and pasting comments, Matt, like a madman right now.
Please do that.
Go ahead.
Scotty Rock, prop bet, run in first inning, no. Yeah, maybe that's the play because the Brewers, so the Dodgers can't hit lefties, and the Brewers' first 3 guys in the order are just not, especially Lorenzo and Christian, aren't hitting. Maybe that's a great play.
Noah Lastark says, look at Jimmy the Bag. I'm one of the best cappers in this chat, hands down. I called the Stanford game by 5. They won by 7. I called Denver, and I told everyone, fade the Lakers. Of course, Portland rolls. Yeah! Noah Lastark, one of the best cappers in this chat. That was a very bad Stu Feiner impression. Shout out to you, Noah Lastark.
Kobe Valentine saying Miley will be the first pitcher starting back-to-back team. Single since George Earnshaw 1930 World Series. That's not going to help us cap this game, but interesting stat. Very tough spot. Theodore Max says, Jim, I've been profitable mainly on strikeout props. Well, we all know this has just been the most embarrassing season of any sport I've ever had in my capping career. It's
and the reason
horrifying.
is because you continue to insist on taking the toughest markets to beat, Jim. Make it easier on yourself. Take some second halves. Take some first half team totals. Take some strikeout props. You know what I'm saying?
My first half team total got killed
Yes,
yesterday. It got destroyed yesterday. Listen, it's just a terrible season. Yes, I will take some more of the peripheral markets next year, but this is just the worst year I've ever had. This is not the status quo.
Okay, so do you want to make a pick here, or do you want to continue on?
Under zero circumstances am I going to be making. Maybe after we talk about it some more in the afternoon. But at this point, it's just hemorrhaging units. I'd be having winning night after winning night since NBA and NHL started rolling, and I'm not because MLB keeps taking money out of my pocket.
I mean, I started doing well in NHL because I started listening to you. Maybe you should listen to me in MLB. How about that?
I did. I took that first 5 team total over, and it got me right in the drink hole,
That
Pete.
is true.
Right in the old bottom mouth.
All right, so let's move on. You want to move on here, Jim?
Yes, please.
All right, so now let's move on to NHL. All right, we got a small card. Again, God, so frustrating. I would be up. I lost 3 units yesterday on my picks, but I had a winning day overall in NHL, and I would have been up 2 units, 5 units that I just didn't have the balls to give on the 2 big -1 lines. With all right, well let's not talk about it tonight in NHL. Florida, Washington. I was definitely liking Florida, except now, and I did bet that one. Except now the line has gotten bet way down into about the plus 120s. So a 25 cent line move in favor of Florida. Minnesota, Dallas, I have no opinion on, and Calgary, Nashville had no overnight line, so I didn't look at that one. I wanted to take a shot with Florida, but now that the line is headed so far down, I'm not sure if there's still value there. Small NHL card. Let's bust through it. What do you like here, Jim?
Very difficult card.
Yeah.
Every day so far, I've come to the show with NHL plays I was ready to hammer for you guys. And I find this a very difficult card. At this point, I don't have any plays on the 3 games, but I've broken them all down. Let's see if we can find a play. Ken Claxton saying Utah NBA is free money. I do have a bunch of NBA plays I like. Let's start here. Panthers at Capitals. Florida lost to the Flyers 6-5 in a shootout Tuesday. Also, I'm going to read out the goalies too and break down the goalies. This is from Left Wing Lock. It's the morning of the day. So please let me know if you think I'm on the wrong, I've got the wrong goalie in my predictions here. I've got Reimer versus Holtby here tonight. Reimer 0-2-1, 3.62 ERA, 0.885. After Hutchinson, remember Hutchinson was a guy that we really, I believe he's a first round draft pick. I believe he was first round draft pick, but a guy in the Winnipeg Jets system. Both the Jets and the Leafs goalies depth charts were very, very good, and they were going to lose their depth, and that's what happened with Winnipeg. Hutchinson moving over to Florida, he gets the backup Reimer because Luongo gets hurt, and Hutchinson looked terrible. Allowed 5 goals in just 26 shots in his first game. I think they will be riding Reimer for a while for the time being. Reimer has not looked good either this year. 0-2-1, 3.62 goals against average, 0.885 save percentage. This is exactly the worst nightmare that we talked about in the beginning of the season with the Panthers, because Luongo is just old, and although he's very good, he gets hurt nonstop. Capitals just stopped a 2-game skid with a 4-3 overtime win against the Rangers. They did actually outplay the Rangers. Rangers did score a couple power play goals, but Washington doesn't look nearly as strong as they did just before that 5-day break the mandated 5-day break. Washington has scored 9 power play goals in 6 games. Just 2 5-on-5 goals in their last 3 games. Holtby has great numbers against the Panthers. I don't expect him to have a great season this year. He had a great playoff run, but a bad season last year. He's an 8.98 save percentage, 3.18 goals against average. Reimer also, so both these teams have great numbers against the opposition in their careers, but I don't take much into that. Scotty Rock forever, Panthers, Capitals, under 6.5. This is a tough card. Mr. Gozer saying not huge on Hutch. You got to see more. I hear that. Cody Valentine saying 77% of money on Washington, but line has gone from -168 to -140 on. I would not take Washington with that line movement. Alonzo Shivers, Cap money line. Dionysus says the question isn't can the Caps win, is will they show up? That's a very, very interesting point. Elio Rodriguez says, Jimmy, I took that parlay, bet them first period puck line cash. I just think home team's first period puck lines make sense with high scoring first periods. You know, you may have a point, and I don't know how long that will roll for, but that seems to be the case so far this year. Mr. Gokster leading over in Washington puck line. Again, rocks on the under 6.5. Do you have a feeling, an edge, an angle here? It's a tough game.
No, the only thing I liked was Florida as a big dog, and I did take that one. I did bet it. I did beat the line move, but now that it's down into the plus 120s, I'm not totally sure that I'm liking that one. I'm copying and pasting comments here. Copying and pasting a great comment from King Rail on the Lakers. Copying and pasting great comments from lots of people here. Go ahead.
Mr. Gokster saying something looks wrong. With Florida, Hoffman maybe. I don't think anything. Their forwards are going to be awesome. They're going to score goals. They're going to be over machine. I'm surprised.
Florida's going to be an over machine.
Until they get Luongo back. Scotty, if you don't mind, if you can, just with a couple brief comments, let me know why you like the under here, because Jim Tobleson likes it as well. First off, the Capitals aren't scoring 5-on-5, so I get that. And Panthers just need to not take penalties, not put themselves in dangerous situations. And also, Trocheck is a hell of a penalty killer. And then you have Ekblad back there who can penalty kill as well. Jim Tolbeson on the under. I'd love to hear why you guys are on the under. Jim Remy says, Jimmy, don't just check save percentage, quality starts percentage, goals against and goals against average allowed is also important. Good luck. Yeah, I hear you, Jim Remy. I just, with a lot of games to cap each day, and I should probably put a little bit more time into the extra and the Corsi numbers that the NHL provides us, which I haven't done a great job of, but I'll start rolling with it soon. Very difficult game. We'll take some more time with it, but I say we just move on to the next game here.
Kobe Valentine says 70% of the money is on Washington. The line's gone down. I will not take Washington with that line movement. Yeah, and I was thinking about maybe what's your take on Holtby? You like him? I'm sorry, I know you just probably talked about. You don't like Holtby?
No, I don't. I don't think he's going to have a good season. If this was a very important playoff game, yeah, I like him. The guy handles pressure well, and he's a likable guy. But through an 82 game season, no. And I understand why they, went back with him. They just won the cup with him.
Yeah.
You have to do that. You have to keep that chemistry going. John Garcia says, what the hell happened to that Penguins insider guy? Yeah, he did like the Pens. He did like the Pens. So, but his only bet was the over 10.5, which missed by 7.5.
All right, I'm going to take a shot with Florida. Team total over here, 2.5 minus 128 at Pinnacle. I'm going to quickly check Heritage to see if it's a little bit better there. But Florida, team total over 2.5 minus 128. And I would be leaning Florida as well on the -1 line. How's Washington offensively right now? They're great, right?
Well, they're not great 5-on-5. But they're great on the power play. And that 5-on-5 is a small sample size.
Right.
Scotty Rock saying Capitals have trouble scoring. Holtby plays well on home ice. That's a great point. Holtby plays well on home ice and under 6-1-1 in the last 8. Those are great points, Scotty. Lou H saying Pete and Jimmy take Galatasaray to win in Turkey. Ooh, and Eintracht Frankfurt in Germany today.
Okay. Yes, I'm copying a ton of these comments here. All right, let's move on, Jim. You want to move on from NHL, or you want to talk about another game?
I would like to talk about another game.
All right, let's make it quick.
Thank you. Dionysus is saying a lot of us capping the NHL like it's midseason. Team have defined. Oh, and when teams have defined their identities, Pens just played their first 60-minute game. Arizona finally showed up. Those are great points. Dionysus, absolutely great points. Okay, let's keep rolling quickly. Wild at Stars. I find this very difficult. I want to take the Wild, but I absolutely love the stuff that Montgomery's saying, the stuff that Montgomery's doing. He says, this is the new coach that took over from Hitchcock. He says, I actually wish we were going back on the road because they looked terrible, right? They got outscored 7-1 in those 2 games. So we could address the road mentality we want to develop. We need to get better at our team identity. Those are very good points to make on this team that I don't trust. Nishushkin will not play tonight, but Mark Mathot is going to be back, and Radulov will play. Those are 2 very important additions to this team. The Stars haven't played since Tuesday. They looked awful. Will they bounce back? I don't know. Yes, I'd like to take the Wild. And as soon as I know that Mikko Koivu, who missed that game against the Coyotes due to the birth of his child, if he's playing tonight, maybe I make a stab with the Wild. I'm thinking about making a stab with the Wild, but we know the Stars are so good at home, and it's a dangerous play. Scotty Rock again, Wild Stars under 6. I tell you what, Scotty Rock, I like that under better than the Cap Panthers under. I just don't trust either goalie, even though you're right that Holtby being better at home. I like that under. That might be something I move forward to. Glenn Elliott Man saying Stars won 4-1 and 6-1 at home versus the Wild last season. And then we have another very tough game, Predators at Flames. But if Johnny Hockey is not in the lineup, the Predators will have more value. And we don't know. He was taken off the ice because of concussion protocol. He did play in the power play right after that, so he felt fine, but the spotters pulled him out of the game. Flames did not practice yesterday, so we won't know until the morning skate that's happening right now. Off to a very fast start. He's a hell of a hockey player. 6 goals, 3 assists in 6 games. Nashville off to a great start, 5-1. Their only defeat was to this Flame squad. Do they want revenge? Both teams have extremely dangerous first lines. Yes, I'm leaning towards the Predators, but Scotty Rock on Predators money line. What would I get on the Predators -1.5 right now? Actually, give me the money line, and then I can figure out the one.
The Predators -1.5. While I'm looking for that, quickly tell me what you think about Reimer. Is he questionable right now? Is he a sieve?
Yeah, he's questionable right now. He's a streaky goalie, and didn't come out of the gates hot like some goalies have. Yeah, I don't like Reimer. I don't like Holtby. I like Holtby as a character guy, but I just don't like the way he's playing. I don't trust him. I don't trust either of those goalies.
Okay, Nashville, we give you +250 too.
That's an interesting spot. I find these 3 games very difficult. Actually, can I see? Am I getting closer to even after starting out the year 1-9? Can I see the NHL record?
Sure, we can show the NHL record. You got the NHL record. Let's show what we've been doing in the NHL. Again, this is a little bit frustrating for me because I loved both of those big favorites yesterday and both the underdogs. So I'd be up close to 20 units now if I had pulled the trigger on those like I wanted to, like I should have done. But I'm still having a good year, and that's where you are, Jimmy the Bag. Huge underdogs. You love to take these huge underdogs, Jim.
Yeah, I want to find out about Goodrow. Just like Mr. Gokster saying, these are very tough games. Kobe Valentine says, Jimmy, they are tricky. I can't come in here and confidently give you a play on these 3 games. I just find them very tough. We're going to keep studying them throughout the afternoon, try and find an angle. Obviously, if Goodrow's in concussion protocol, I would lean towards taking the Predators, but a lot of these teams kind of like showing what they can do when the star's out of the lineup. This is very difficult. I've got a lot of plays I like in NBA, so why don't we move on?
Okay, let's move on to NBA. Just one NHL play for me. Florida, team total over 2.5 minus 128. We'll see how that turns out. All right, NBA, we got a lot of, we can throw up Jimmy the Bag. Look at this, Jimmy the Bag. Throw up the NBA record if you got it. We want to keep a brisk pace here, but we definitely have time to give Jim a little bit of congratulations on the NBA record that he's put. Look at that. Not bad, Jimmy the Bag. And of course, my record is 5-6. But if it hadn't been for my own handicapping, I'd be 5-2, which would be great. So I'm just going to listen right now. The only thing I'll tell you what I was thinking about. I was thinking about Orlando. Looks like they have some life to them. They might be a good bet against bad teams. And Trot Wham loved fading Charlotte. Part of his play on Milwaukee before was because he thought that Charlotte was putting out a bunch of scrubs there. So maybe Orlando as a home dog once again has value. What do you think?
I do think Orlando as a home dog has value. Steve Clifford's first game was a big success. Remember, he knows this Hornets team very well. Spent 5 years coaching these guys. Remember, last year, Magic started the season on a winning note as well. Fournier, Gordon, Vucevic were all healthy. Now Mo Bamba looking really good coming off the bench, taking away the importance of Vucevic. Bamba came off the bench, 13 points, a couple big dunks, a block. He was very good in that fourth quarter. They had a bench for the first time in how many years? Combined for 36 points. The Hornets looked terrible until they came up with that very small lineup, everybody 6'8" or shorter, and that's when they went on their run. That was Walker, Parker, Monk, whom I love. I love Malik Monk, Kid Gilchrist, and Batum. They went on that 21-9 run to tie the game. Hornets continue to trend from last season where they lose games that are decided by 5 points or fewer. Again, I continue to question Kemba Walker's leadership. Maybe that's not fair, but I continue to do that. Clifford, 11 straight wins for these Hornets against the Magic. Charlotte's also won 14 of 18 against them, 10 of 12 in Orlando. Scotty Rock says taking a shot on the Magic money line, and that's where I'm going right back to the Magic money line, just like first game of the season that gave me the plus 120 score. Tell me, Pete, what score will I
wonder what
here?
King Rail thinks about that. The line has moved a little bit in Charlotte's favor, which is interesting. But so money line, we give you 120 again. You want that one?
I do.
Okay, Orlando money line plus 120. Yeah, I was thinking Orlando might be the play here. Maybe the over, maybe the Orlando team total over. I mean, they're playing a pretty fast pace of brand of basketball, right?
I'm very uncomfortable with totals just in early season. I just need to get a better feel for the team. And they make me so nervous.
Yeah.
And I get anxiety when I'm watching the game. Whereas when I take sides early in the season, I can sit back and enjoy it. So I hate being forced to hammer the bottle as hard as I have to at times.
Scotty Rock Forever says, take a shot on Magic Moneyline and Ski Profit from the King's Court show. Hornets don't play as well away. Magic play well at home.
Wow, and King Rail says, gave Hornets last night. Don't forget Magic head coach had a winning record once. Hornets have a winning mentality, winning coach. They didn't lay down for the buck, but they had to go small. They had to go small, and I don't know if they'll be able to force Orlando into that situation, but they'll probably try because the Hornets have a lot of bigs, and I love Aaron Gordon. You know, that scares me. That King's on the other side.
Well, he didn't necessarily say, he gave Hornets for tonight.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay, so he gave Hornets for tonight's game. I thought he was saying he gave them against Milwaukee, but no.
Comic Ricky says, Jazz hate me.
Wow.
Comic Ricky says, Jazz hate me. Can we move on to that game?
Yeah,
I'm so
let's
excited.
let's move on to that one. Okay.
Comic Ricky says, Jazz hate me. Not going to hate you, Comic Ricky, because I am taking the Jazz here on the money line. It's a very small spread. Remember, Jazz were the only NBA team to beat Golden State 3 times last season. During the regular season, of course. Utah won 3 straight. They beat them in both home games. They won by an average of 35 points. We remember those games very, very clearly. Utah also scored an average of 124 points against the Warriors in those 2 contests. The Jazz opened up the season with a 123-117 win at Sacramento, I believe. I feel like they were looking ahead at this giant game. Jazz fell behind 25-9 in the first quarter, had no problem coming back to a 68-55 lead. Jay Crowder, healthy, back in action. Remember, he's a great perimeter defender. Alex Burks and Dante Exum look good as well. Mitchell finished with a team-high 24 points. Guys playing like a seasoned veteran out there. Joe Ingles, God, this guy just keeps shooting incredibly well. 9 of 12 in the season opener for 22 points. The question is, oh, beautiful. Ski Prophet says, Jimmy, I'm loving your picks. Our card may look the same today. That's good. That makes me feel really good.
Really? So Ski and King Rail are going head-to-head then against in this Hornets game then?
That's what makes their show so exciting.
Yes.
You know, they're absolutely great cappers, and sometimes they're not on the same side, and that's what makes their show so exciting. Rudy Gobert has to take advantage of the Warriors. Now, I have to say, perceived weakness at the 5. It looks like it's a weakness, but I need to see them more. I need to see these guys more. I don't know their 5s as well as I would like to, and we know everything will change as soon as Boogie comes back, but that's not until January. Warriors did not look great in that 108-100 start. Steph Curry had 32 points, 9 assists. Durant, 27 points, 8 boards. I'd love to hear what Rock Nation has to say about this game. Oh, and Angel Romero with the play.
Yes, I copied and pasted it. I read it out. Velez Sarsfield, -110, starts 3 p.m. Pacific. Argentinian Soccer League. Shout out to Angel Romero. Okay,
let me just copy and paste that. I'd love to hear what Scotty Rock has to say about this. I'd love to hear what the backers have to say about this, the Warriors backers. And Kyle Jack saying Johnny Goodrow upgraded to probable for this eve for Calgary. Thank you for letting us know that. Ski Prophet, Jazz have had Golden State number for the past couple of years. Scotty Rock saying Jazz +3 is the play. I do feel like there's some truth there because we know that the Warriors will have an opportunity with that last shot, as they always do. Oh, Johnny Redbeard joining us, sweet. But
shout out to Johnny Redbeard.
In saying all that, I'm going to jump on the money line here. I like these little plus spots.
Okay, +130. That's a market line. You want that one, huh?
I do.
Okay, but Nino says they're begging you to take the Warriors. Yes. Okay, Irie Trostar. That's what Vegas wants you to think. No, stop. Whenever you can get Golden State at 3 or 4 or 5, you take them as a gift.
Scotty Rock,
wow.
Jazz +3 is the play. Sorry,
that's okay.
But yeah, Scotty Rock. You know, I always find it so insightful to see when fans are fading their own team.
Yeah. All right, let's keep a brisk pace here, Jim. Let's quickly move on to Boston and Toronto. Raps rolled Cleveland first game. I wisely listened and hailed that one and got a winner with that one. The Celts rolled Philly. I unwisely went with my own analysis on that game, was leaning Philly. King Rail and others, including Jimmy the Bag, like the Celtics. Didn't you have the Celtics in that one or not? I don't remember.
In the Celtics home opening.
Yes, and King Rail had that one, so you guys cashed. Congratulations. I'm looking at this one. I'm thinking, why is this total so low? I know Boston plays really tough defense, but I was thinking maybe about a shot with the over here. It's an interesting game, Boston against Toronto. What do you think, Jimmy the Bag? And while you give your opinions, I'm going to scan for comments. Anyone who has anything to say about Boston, Toronto, put the comments up. I will read them.
Beautiful. And King Rail saying, looks like there will be fireworks on King's Court today. Ski and I are head-to-head on most of this card. Which means I'm going to be head-to-head with, it looks like, with King on a bunch of these plays. Okay, let's keep rolling. This is a very tough game. It's a game that means a ton to us in Toronto, and I want to take more time with it. Scotty Rock says, Celtics-Raptors game got me, pondering. Raptors, 24 points, 12 boards from Kawhi in his first game. Hayward played well enough. You know, all we wanted to see was him being able to move around the court, really. We know he'll get rolling. The Gamble guy joining us. What up, Gamble guy? Gordon Hayward, 10 points, 5 boards. The Celtics look like just an extremely tough team to play. This is a learning experience for us, how we're going to look with Kawhi against. This is the team we want to beat. Forget about Cleveland. We don't care about Cleveland. We want to beat LeBron, and who cares? LeBron's in a different league for all we care. Both teams showed their depth in the openers. Each team had 9 players with double-digit minutes. Each team had 5 players with double-digit scoring. Aaron Baines at 19-14 had the least playing time of those 9 Celtics. So they're playing no one played over 30 minutes for the Celtics. This is a very tough team to beat. And again, the same thing. Raptors. The lowest player was C.J. Miles with 10-23. Kyrie, 7 points, 7 assists, not trying to do too much. This Boston team scares me. It scares me enormously. I just think they're so good, so deep. They can play you in any kind of way they want. You want to go big, you want to go small, whatever you want to do. They have toughness, defense, perimeter defense, on-the-ball defenders.
Wow. Okay, so here we go. King Rail, Celtics money line +130. Low-hanging fruit. Low-hanging fruit, Celtics money line +130. And on the total, Barca Man G11 says Boston Raptors under 5-1 is in the last 6 meetings. And Red Girl, I'm on the under in that Boston game. Red Girl, of course, last time we heard from her on an NBA total, nailed the under in the Golden State game. Red Girl, I'm on the under in the Boston game. Barca Man G11 likes the under as well. King Rail has labeled Boston money line low-hanging fruit. Wow. Barca Man points out Celtics 0-6 ATS last 6 meetings in Toronto, but a lot of people pointing out how good how deep Boston is today.
I I hate, I just hate this feeling.
What?
This game just means so much to us, and I don't know why it shouldn't. It's only the second game of the year, but we need to see how we stack up against this team. We need to see Kawhi out there. I want to beat these Celtics so badly. I'm
Right.
upset. I'm angry that King likes the Celtics.
Anil Frank says Celtics are the better team at plus 125. We're taking a shot. They'll rarely be a dog against Eastern Conference teams.
Yeah.
Wow.
I don't. If I was to take the Raptors here and lose, I would be so.
And people
angry.
liking the under. All right, I'm probably going to tail. Sun Kim says staying off the Celtics Raptors. I am probably going to play on Boston here one way or another, maybe a couple of ways. I'm convinced. I'm just not sure how I want to think about it. Maybe Toronto team total under.
Do you mind going over the total and what market moves have happened with that total right now?
With which one?
The Celtics Raptors.
The Celtics game. Yes, it'll be interesting to see what happens with this total later on in the day, because I looked at it. I thought the 207 was a little bit low, and now it's up to 208 or 208.5. So there has been a market move to the over in Boston, Toronto as of right now. And, but again, I know that Boston plays strong defense, and I know that, and Red Girl likes the under. So maybe Toronto team total under, but it just feels like both these teams are going to get to 100 tonight,
Jared Schrader says Vegas begging you to take the Celtics. I'll be on the Raptors.
Oh,
Raptors
shit.
have owned the Celtics at home. King Rail first road game. Raptors being overvalued here in this spot. Angel Romero says, don't do it, Jimmy. You sound like me yesterday betting with your eye. No, I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. And it's going to take me some time to figure out how I'm going to bet these Raptors. I'm just being honest with you guys. I have a ton of fucking issues.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not.
And then to Theodore McIntosh, I'm on the over 208. There's a new Raptors squad. All those unders last year had a playoff atmosphere. Toronto rolled. So Theodore McIntosh liking Toronto in the over. Seems like the people who are liking Toronto are liking the over. It seems like the people who are liking Boston are liking the under.
Yeah.
Okay.
And look at Anthony L. Lowest hanging fruit of the weekend is in Bundesliga. Augsburg versus RP Leipzig over 2.5 goals.
Jay Skull says Celtics best team in the NBA right now. Jansen Bonzone, I'm leaning Raptors. Okay, I think we've covered this. I think we'll get into a lot more this game in the afternoon, and I am definitely, from what I've seen, from what I've read, from what I've heard, leaning Celtics myself. I'm just not exactly sure how many ways I want to take them and in which ways. But okay, I am copying and pasting Anthony L's comment there. All right, let's move on to another NBA game.
I know Noah looking out for me, saying don't bet with your heart. That's why I'm not betting on it. That's why I'm not making a play on this right now. But there are other plays I do like. Can we keep rolling into it?
Yes.
I am going to fade the New York Knicks here. I know the Knicks have the Nets number when they play in Brooklyn. I don't care. I love some players on the Nets. I like Dinwiddie in the backcourt. I like what they can do. I think they can take advantage. They're a veteran squad compared to this Knicks squad. New York kicked off the season in nice fashion. Fizdale's debut, 126-107 against maybe the worst team we've ever seen, playing Vince Carter at power forward. Vince Carter actually had a pretty good game. Tim Hardaway Jr. expected to get more touches, and he did. 16 of his 31 points in the second quarter. He has a ton more responsibility from Fizdale, and I like it. 15 points from Cantor. 4 others reached at least 15 points. Cantor got 16 and 11. Dreyer, 15, undrafted. Kevin Knox scored 10 in the reserve role that we didn't know he was going to get in this spot. We thought he may start. The Nets, and I read started saying, what, Jim? No. I'm fine. I knew that people wouldn't like this play. And I know, again, I love iRetrostar. I know he's looking out for me. Nets began the season by taking a great, I thought they played well in that loss. They often fell behind last year by double digits and fought their way back just like they did. I love Chris LeVert. I think he's a guy on the upswing. He matched a career high with 27 points. Dinwiddie had 23. Barcelman says Knicks are 4-0 against the spread in the last 4 meetings. I don't care. I don't care. But Barcelman's just giving us good stats. I don't mean to say I don't care. Thank you for giving us that information. But I truly believe that the veterans can take care of this young Knicks squad. They're hoping to get more from D'Angelo Russell and, keep them on the bench. Let's just go with Dinwiddie and LeVert. I don't care about that. Rondé Hollis Jefferson, Damari Carroll, Alan Crabb, and Shabazz Napier all dealing with injuries. Ed Davis, I like Ed Davis coming in for them, backup center behind Allen. Davis had 8.7 boards. The Nets struggled to contain Drummond and Griffin. That's just every team. A lot of teams will have that issue. Crabb is probable, and it seems like Hollis Jefferson will be in the lineup as well. I'd like them. I'd love it if they both were. But even if they aren't, I'm going to be fine. And I bet you if they're both announced, that line will change. Brooklyn's won 5 of 6 home openers since moving to Jersey. I know the Knicks swept the season series, but I am on the Nets.
You're on the Nets, huh?
Yeah.
Okay, let me see. You're on
Look,
the Nets.
Daddy, play of the day. Nets first half full game.
So you're going to take the Nets.
Easton Shirtlift says Knicks will win by 10 plus.
Oof.
Wow.
Okay, so you want that? Wow, the line has gotten bet up from 2.5 to 3.5 or 4.
Wow.
You want 3.5, Jim?
I do.
All right, 3.5 minus 110 still at the Greek. Jim's going to take the Nets minus 3.5 minus 110. Let me ask you something, Jim. Boston, are they so good because they have depth or because of what they have as starting?
Oh,
They're just everything, right?
everything.
But Toronto has depth too.
Toronto has great depth, but they don't have the toughness that
Who?
the Celtics have.
Toronto, right?
I mean, is Kawhi Leonard tough? I used to think so.
All right, I'm going to start with one play. I will do it. Boston, I'm going to start with Boston first quarter. Boston first quarter +1, minus 108. Boston first quarter +1, minus 108. And I'm also thinking about the Boston team total over. Mr. Gokster is predicting that game will go over. And Mr. Gokster also says he's from Toronto or whatever. He's a Toronto fan. He likes Boston tonight, and he's predicting that the game goes over. Do we think that the game goes over? Because I'm an inch away from taking the Boston team total over, Jim.
I'll have a much better feel for the total.
How does Toronto play defensively, Jim?
Well, it's a different team with Kawhi instead of DeRozan, so we expect them to be quite a bit better defensively. A lot better.
We expect them to be.
Yeah. And look at King Rail. Levert's going to ball out. Yeah, I hate seeing, obviously, and I believe in you guys, and I hate seeing some of you guys believing that the Knicks are going to roll, but I really
All right, I'm taking another play. Boston team total over 102 minus 114. That's at Pinnacle right now. Boston team total over 102 minus 114, and Boston first quarter +1 minus 108. All right, and Jimmy has taken the Nets minus 3.5. I was thinking about the over in this game, in the Nets game. Is that not a decent play? The over?
The Knicks look like they have a lot of holes defensively, especially where the Nets are going to be creating all their offense from the 1 and from the 2 and from the 3. The Knicks now, Nicolina is supposedly already a good defender or is going to become a great on-ball and perimeter defender. I've got to see more of that before I trust him. But Nicolina, that's supposed to be where he's best. We'll see.
All right, I will. I'm trying to think about and how's Brooklyn despite all the injuries? Are they going to be okay offensively?
Yes, that's the way I can preach. They fire up threes like crazy. They fire up shots like crazy.
All right,
what is the total at right now?
Well, it's 218 or 219, which is a little bit high. I'm going to start with the first half over. First half over 108.5 minus 110. That's the current line at UWager. We do use UWager. And it's 109 everywhere else. Some places have 109.5, but SBR odds is showing 108.5 minus 110 at UWager, and I will use that line. Knicks and Brooklyn first half over 108.5 minus 110. That's the current line at UWager. All right, Jim, let's get to other games. You got to keep a brisk pace here. What else do you want to talk
Kyle
about?
Krasuski saying best value Hawks +8. Grizzlies are too terrible of a team to be giving 8 points. Are there no 7.5s anymore
for what?
For the Grizzlies?
For the Grizzlies game. Let me just check here. We're trying to make a brisk pace here. Sorry. Hold on. Let me see. The Grizzlies game would be no, they're 7.5. They have 7.5 everywhere.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
I hear what you're saying. I think that the Grizzlies are going to get better when Conley gets more comfortable. His first game in so long. I think the Hawks are god awful. I am taking the Grizzlies going right up against Krasuski, which is not something I really want to be doing going up against Kyle, but I am going to be on the Grizzlies here. The Hawks got destroyed by New York. I think New York's terrible. The Grizzlies got destroyed at Indiana. A perfect wake-up call for them now to come back, go home.
Look at this. Sorry. King Rail, Boston wants to play Kawhi tight, make him extend energy on both ends. Boston's going to press the Raptors and force the ball out of Kawhi's hands. Shout out to King Rail for just fucking insights in the NBA. Taking 3 seconds to shout out King Rail. I appreciate everything that all your abilities and talents in NBA handicapping. Shout out to King Rail. All right, let's move on, Jim.
Huge asset to our show, no doubt about it. Hawks, Trae Young, he's going to fire up a ton of shots, and Conley is supposed to be. Scotty Rock says Hawks +7.5 is a lot of points. Giovanni Beestorf, great camper, says under is the play, Jimmy. What is the total on this game?
On which one?
Hawks Grizzlies.
Hawks Grizzlies is I don't even know what I'm looking at here. It should be about 212, 213. Let me find. I'm just navigating here at SBRodds.com. 214.5, 215.
Yeah.
Way up.
Wow.
Huge line move. Opened at 208.5. So a 7-cent line move. I mean a 7-point line move in favor of the over. I don't think that's sharp guys trying to drive this line up and then hitting the under, although it could be, but that is a massive move.
Yeah, the totals really give me anxiety this time of year. don't know why they do it, but they really make me so uncomfortable.
Well,
when
no,
watching
I
them.
understand because there's so many times when like something is way off from what you expected, and you're thinking, what should I have seen? And you don't know what you should have seen. It's just hard to say, you know.
Yeah, no doubt about it. No doubt about it. Jaren Jackson Jr. also did not look very good. Minus 21. Trae Young was a minus 20 in that opening game. Torian Prince, I love. He's a beast. But I'm telling you, until these guys get Dedmon and Collins back, and when they do, I'm going to back the Hawks. I think we can get a ton of value from them. Vince Carter actually was just a minus 7 in 24 minutes as a starter, got 12 points. You know, in the game where they were losing, it's pretty impressive.
Darryl Lyles likes the Knicks Nets over, and Darryl Lyles, I forgot there was one play that Darryl Lyles gave yesterday in the comment section that I noted, and it was wound up being totally dead on. I forgot exactly what play that was, but it was a great call. Shout out to Darryl Lyles. I definitely noticed that when I was reviewing the notes. He likes the Knicks Nets over 218.
Yeah, I can understand why he would. I'm going to put a little asterisk there.
And Easton Shirtlift says Knicks will dominate the Nets tonight. Brooklyn will be on the road on their home court. All right, let's move on.
King Rail says minus 7.5 is too much. Grizzlies are trash. I don't believe they're as trash as everybody is going to make them out to be. I believe that I can find some value with the Grizzlies this year. And I also feel like them getting destroyed by Indiana is the perfect recipe for the Grizzlies to cover by us. I still see Grizzlies, see the Vancouver Grizzlies, for us to win by double digits. I'm taking the Grizzlies here minus 7.5. I don't like going up against what Kings.
Okay, so what do you want? 7.5?
Yeah.
All right, 7.5 minus 104. It opened at 6.5, so the market as of right now has moved in Memphis' favor. Memphis minus 7.5. Minus 104. Jimmy the Bag is taking that one. All right, move on, Jim. How long do you want to cover NBA? Because we got a whole lot of other shit to cover. Do you want to do 5 more minutes of NBA?
Yeah, or 4 even.
All right, what else do you have?
Those are my plays. Noah Lastark having Frankfurt and Lyon. Very interesting. Thank you for letting us know. Noah, Thunder at Clippers. Thunder got the season off to a good start. I was impressed with how well they played the Warriors without Westbrook. He continues to recover from minor knee procedure. He's been practicing all week. His status for the game remains unknown. He may play. OKC had Paul George scoring 27 points. Schroeder goes for 21, 9 boards, 6 assists. I like Schroeder. I have no idea how he's going to play beside Westbrook.
Can I mention a few? There were 2 plays I was thinking about. Indiana team total over and Minnesota team total under. Minnesota's a big favorite against Cleveland. I know Cleveland is trash, but is Minnesota real? And we like the under in the Minnesota Spurs game, and that one lost. But I was thinking Minnesota team total under and Pacers team total over. Is Milwaukee going to play tough defense against Indiana? Because Indiana looks pretty damn good offensively, don't they?
Both these teams looked very good. I really want to watch this game before I make a play that I'm confident in. Budenholzer, I think he's going to finally have weapons. That's what he never had at his disposal. Now he has them. Milwaukee did commit 21 turnovers. They watched a 20-point lead disappear. Antetokounmpo again, 8 turnovers, even though he was incredible with 25, 18, and 8. Indiana looked incredible. Pacers bench, 58 points from the Pacers bench. Tyreek Evans and Corey Joseph combined for 25 points. Corey Joseph says, we are going to have the best second unit in the NBA. I'm impressed. The Bucks at home, the Pacers look very good.
Who said they're going to have the best second? Which team?
Corey Joseph said that we are going to have the best second unit in the NBA.
Okay.
And I don't see why they wouldn't. I've always been a Corey Joseph fan. I don't have a play. I feel like this is very, very difficult.
Let's see. Someone's saying that Milwaukee's going to roll in their home opener. Sorry, let me just.
But Curtis Robert likes Pacers money line. This is a very difficult game. Ron Lofton says going to wait for more info tonight on King's Court for NBA. It's a good idea. But what about just the Indiana team total over? Isn't Milwaukee playing at a fast pace? They are, but I don't really see them having the right roster to do this. I understand Milwaukee, you mean? Yeah, I understand what Budenholzer is trying to do, but these guys just don't have the right players to. The Ilyasova pickup probably nice. I just don't trust it. What about Indiana team total over, Jim? Yeah, I get it. What is the number at? 105.5, which is a little high. It makes sense. It absolutely makes sense. Kyle Ferguson in the house, beautiful. It makes sense, but I'm you know what? It is an interesting play that I will look into more in the afternoon.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking about. I'm thinking about Indiana team total overs, and I'm thinking about Minnesota team total under against the Cavs. I know the Cavs are a trash team, but what's your take on Minnesota right now? Are they going to roll here offensively?
Again, we remember how good Minnesota was at home last year, but clearly there's issues with Butler. Listen to this. Like, Butler said this. Imagine it. Okay, Butler said, everybody missed easy shots, but we took all the right ones. We shared the ball. We take the best things from this, and that's our energy and how hard we played for 48 minutes. Doesn't that sound like a leader? A leader who just demanded a trade and called everybody out on the team? It's very strange. It's so many mixed messages from this guy. These guys were so good at home last year, but Butler is clearly a problem. I want to take the Cavaliers here, but I need to see this Wolves team at home. And Kevin Love is the go-to guy for these Cavs. Is that going to work for them? 21 points, but he missed 13 of 18 shots. Now he's going back to where his career got off to a beautiful start. CC Osman looked good in the starting lineup with 17 points, 10 boards, but did he? Minus 21 out there. This is another tough play. I would like to take the Cavs, and I'm not going to, at least at this point. Timberwolves were so good at times. They were so good at home with Butler in the lineup. Will they be here? Kim Rail saying Butler is bipolar. It certainly seems that way because those comments sound like the comments of a leader. I'm off this Cavaliers-Timberwolves game at this point. But I'd like to take the Cavs. I'm trying to talk myself into taking the Cavs.
Okay. Wow. Nutflush Allen says, I'm telling you, I learned a few years ago from listening. The beginning of the NBA season, when you see the line moves on totals, they are usually for the right reason and have seen it already this season. Shout out to Nutflush Allen. Great comment right there. Kobe Valentine faces a long, youthful, athletic team. Perfect type of team to go up against Milwaukee and beat them. Let me see. Other comments. Infamoso likes over 215 in the Milwaukee game. What do you think?
I can understand betting the overs in the Milwaukee-Indiana game. I can also understand betting the overs in the Knicks-Nets game. The one thing about the Bucks-Pacers game is I think there's quite a bit on the line. I think these teams, they match up and they're on the rise and they know they're going to meet each other and possibly meet each other in the playoffs. I think it's going to be a very passionate game. When there's a lot of passion leads to defense. Yeah.
Is Cleveland going to play no defense and Minnesota will just put up 130 at home? Possibly, right?
Possibly.
How is Cleveland? Is Cleveland just doesn't give a shit? What's up with Cleveland right now?
It's not that they don't give a shit. They just don't have a talented roster. Their roster's bad. And if Kevin Love's your go-to guy, well, enjoy your top 5 draft pick.
And how are they defensively? Because even Indiana, you would think that the Toronto would Toronto only put up 116, which is obviously a big number. But does Minnesota have the offense to put up a 120, to be reliable to put up a 120 even against the Cavs?
I don't know. That's such a good question. I need to watch them more. What Butler's done is very confusing, and it makes it more difficult for us to cap them.
Jared Schrader likes Minnesota-Cleveland first half under 114. I'm just concerned that if I take a Minnesota team total under, that it'll be a little bit low scoring to start. Minnesota will get a big lead, and then Cleveland will stop playing defense at all, and Minnesota puts up 40 in the third quarter, and it soars over. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, I do know what you're saying. And remember how good they were with Butler in the lineup at home last year.
Ski Profit, Pete, I like that Pacers team total over. Wow. Ski Profit liking it.
Noli knows, shout out my man. He's given us his NCAA plays. I'll go over them. He's so good with totals, and he's given us his totals. Thank you so much. Noli knows he might not be at the
all right. So let's move on. Of course, we'll talk a lot more about all these NBA plays and games and situations in the 6 o'clock show. We'll also have the luxury of seeing market moves on all these plays. As of right now, these are all the plays that have been given. Jim gave Nets minus 3.5, Memphis minus 7.5, Orlando moneyline plus 120, and Utah moneyline plus 130. I gave, listening, Boston first quarter plus 1 minus 108, Boston team total over 102 minus 114, Knicks and Nets first half over 108.5 minus 110. That's the line at UWager. And in NHL, I gave Florida team total over 2.5 minus 128. We'll probably be adding a lot more plays. This interesting NBA card later on in the 6 o'clock show. All right, let's move on to college football. Is that what we got next? College football. 2 very interesting games. I can tell you that Ian Cameron on the Pre-Snap Reads show did give Colorado State. That was a game he requested, and he gave Colorado State at plus 23.5. It's now up to plus 24. Air Force UNLV is a very interesting game. Obviously, UNLV opened as a big underdog, and they're now down to 10. UNLV in general is a program that I like, right? I like this coach Sanchez. I like how he can rally these guys to a rebound. But UNLV just took a huge, apparently, based on what we've seen on the field, just a massive hit from losing their starting quarterback. And the replacement for him has not done well at all. UNLV, of course, off of two eye-opening and shocking massive margin losses. The road game, though, against Utah State was a little bit forgivable. That is a very, very tough assignment. Utah State has an awesome offense this year. Now they're back home against Air Force. The problem here, of course, is that there's expected to be a ton of running in this game, and Air Force has way better numbers defensively against the run than UNLV. So because of that, you might be liking Air Force, but something's telling me that this might be a spot to bet on UNLV with the coach, with the program, and to keep it at least close. I'd be leaning UNLV here, although obviously on paper there are strong reasons to like Air Force. What do you think, Jim? Did you look at this game at all?
I certainly did. I think that's a great breakdown.
Yeah.
Absolutely great. I've got pages and pages of stats, but just backing everything that you said. I went and got crushed on the under last night in the Georgia State game. I want to go right back to it because these teams rely so heavily on the run. The issue is one team can't stop the run, and that's concerning. But I still feel like even though the Rebels rank last in the conference, 114th in the country in rushing defense, I still feel like the under has value here, especially if UNLV keeps.
Yeah, Theodore McIntosh says 13 down to 10, Air Force or nothing now. Ryan Taylor loving UNLV and the over.
And Ryan Taylor was trying to get me off the under last night. And Bulgogi says two shit teams over. Oh, great. Maybe. Well, I'm certainly not going to make the move yet.
Oh, and we have some Mac plays from Kyle Jack. Sorry, we just got to read this one out. Mac plays from Kyle Jack. Okay, let's listen. Kyle Jack, Buffalo -1. And what was it? Noah Lastark saying grab Buffalo? Okay, so Kyle Jack and Noah Lastark liking Buffalo. Kyle Jack likes Army -8. I agree with that one. Kyle Jack. Eastern Michigan, Ball State, easy over 46.5. Kyle Jack, I'm asking you this right now. I'm addressing you on camera. When that game opened, Eastern Michigan, Ball State, I thought the over's a great play here. That was when it was at 51. Now it's like plummeted to 46.5 or 47. I don't understand that at all. Now, we just saw last night, I talked about in the beginning of the show, a 6-point line move in college football that I disagreed with. Turned out I was right. But still, you have to respect what the market does here. Kyle Jack, Eastern Michigan, Ball State, easy over. I thought the over was a good bet when it opened at 50 or 51 or whatever it was. It's dropped down to 46.5. You have any explanation, Kyle Jack? I'm asking you personally, live on camera. He also likes Western Michigan, Central Michigan, Bash. Western Michigan -3.5 and the over 55, and he likes Akron -5. See, I was leaning Central Michigan and the under, but the more I think about that game, the more I think I might have been on the wrong side. We did cover that in the pre-snap read show, and the guys liked Western Michigan a lot there. Joe Gavazzi and Ian Cameron both liked Western Michigan. So I was leaning Central Michigan. It is a rivalry game, and I did get it at 5. Now it's down to 3.5. I think that Western Michigan and the over and Central Michigan and the under are probably slightly correlated. So I'm agreeing with Kyle Jack. Buffalo -1 seems like that's the right play. Army -8, I agree with that one. Eastern Michigan, Ball State over, I agree with that one, although I don't understand the line move. Western Michigan, Central Michigan, he likes Western Michigan and the over, and I was leaning the opposite ways, but the closer we get to Saturday, the more I'm thinking that I might have been wrong there. And Akron -5. All right, Jim. Well, sorry, anything else from college football?
Yeah, Twatty giving me some confidence back. Saying Air Force 7th in time of possession, lean under with you, Jimmy. Trenton Claxton saying Air Force at the half. Trenton Claxton's been very hot lately. So what do we...
Oh, now Scotty Rock Forever saying the over is at 56. No, wait, what's he talking about?
I'm not entirely sure.
I'm not sure. Okay, go on. I'm sorry, go ahead.
What do you think we're going to see from Isaiah Sanders, and how much of a drop-off is it?
I'm not exactly sure. It is a drop off. Hold on one second. I'm just checking some of these lines here, Jim. Why don't you read some comments while I check some of these lines here? Hold on one second.
Air Force fell to 2-4, 0-3 in league play after that San Diego State loss. They led most of the game. They couldn't hold on. It was a very interesting game. The Rebels get destroyed by Utah State. I was on Utah State first half. Should have doubled up on that. We weren't sure. I ended up breaking even because I had the under. Just like Nighthawk, which blew up in my face. Yes, there's recent injuries at the quarterback position. Why, if there's recent injuries at the quarterback position, would that lead to everybody liking the over here? Why?
Okay, so people are talking about the the 25 the wins expected in the Ball State game, which I did not see that high wins. I saw some low teens wins when I had my weather report in the beginning of the year. Okay, so sorry, what were you asking, Jim?
Why, if there's injuries to the quarterback positions for both teams, both teams will have quarterbacks that aren't really quarterbacks they believe in. Both teams love to run and will be running because of the injuries to the quarterback position. Why is everyone going for the over?
Well, UNLV has terrible numbers defensively. They obviously have given up a ton of points recently. I'm not saying the under is a bad play here, Jim. I was thinking about UNLV, and probably UNLV is vaguely correlated with the under, because if this game soars over, you're probably looking at another 50-point explosion from Air Force. But
okay, well,
it's just if you're a team that has problems defensively, the option offense is impossible to stop. If you can contain the option offense, then you're looking at a 21-7 game. If you can't contain the option offense, we've seen this time and time and time again, you'll give up 50 points. Just because they're running, if you can't stop them, they'll run. It only takes 8 seconds to run down the whole field. If you do that once, then you do it again, then you do it again, all of a sudden you got 21 points. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I know what you're saying. I'm going to take a little bit more time on that total, but I'm still leaning under. And so is Frank Alexander. He's on the under. Kobe Valentine liking UNLV
money line.
Wow, he's not the first person to say that. I believe
Trenton Claxton, UNLV is shit without the quarterback.
Ryan Taylor is also on UNLV money line. Can we touch on this Colorado State, Boise State?
Yeah, go ahead.
So Brett Rippon looks incredible out of the gate this year. 12 touchdown passes, no interceptions first 4 games. And then what happened? Is he hurt right now? He looks bad. Now the Rams, again, this Colorado State Rams team has the least efficient pass defense. So is Brett just going to go back to his old ways? Is he going to absolutely dominate this game because the Rams are so weak in their secondary? Is he going to come back to getting confidence? Because that's a ton of points. And Preston Williams, let's say the best wide receiver on this field is probably in Colorado State's team. Broncos, if the Broncos cheat an extra man over there, don't you think Carter Samuels will be able to make plays and get some points on the board? And if Colorado puts up 25 points, Boise State's not covering this game. Colorado State's won 2 straight after that 1-4 start, but they're not scoring. They're still not scoring. Will they score here? The Rams are likely going to struggle on defense. And if Brett Rippon gets, his... Now, another thing, is Boise State not caring about this Colorado State game, looking ahead to Fresno State and Utah State? That's possible. Red Girl says, I like Colorado State too. OG Wham liking Colorado State. Corey Dickerson said Colorado State keeps it close. I will definitely be making plays on these 2 games, definitely. Ryan Taylor on Colorado State and the over. Ryan Taylor liking overs on both games. We'll be able to hammer this more on the late show because we'll have gotten through a ton of the capping that we started with early on this show.
All right. And also, there's probably a play that I should give that I gave in my in the parlay show, and I haven't given that officially, and that is the under in Illinois, Wisconsin. People are talking about wind. That's a game that has a lot of wind expected as well, and that total has not been affected at all. In fact, it's gotten bet up, which I don't quite understand, but I gave it in the parlay show, so I will have to. I should give it here. Illinois, Wisconsin, under 57 minus 110. I'll make that one an official pick right now. Under 57 minus 110. Illinois, Wisconsin. All right. We can revisit the college football games later on. I am leaning UNLV here. I'm thinking that despite the terrible numbers that UNLV has against the run and how awful they've been defensively, they're back home now. I like the program with the coach, and I'm leaning UNLV, but I'm not going to make that one an official play. All right, now let's move on to CFL. Jimmy the Bag, do you have anything to say about the CFL games going tonight?
I do very much.
Really?
This is week 19. It's very exciting. Playoffs are on the line in both these games. I've talked with my man Kelly McMillan. I've talked with a couple other knuckleheads about what's the best way to handle this situation. First off, I like the Ticats so much more than the Red Blacks. I'm a little uncomfortable taking a road team in such a big game. This is the first one, but I'm going to do it. These are the 2 best teams in the East. There's going to be a crossover from the West. The Ticats looking for their 3rd straight win. Red Blacks looking to stop the losing. Remember when these guys played in week 7? There was so much offense, but red zone futility. It was 21-15, but there was so many yards. So there was a ton of offense. Don't let that low score mess with you, because it has messed with me trying to figure out the total. Ticats and Red Blacks have both made it into the postseason, but the winner of this will get the home game in the Eastern Final, and that's crucially important. Hamilton completed its sweep over the Argos last week. They looked good. Tasker hauled in 3 touchdown passes. Brandon Banks is a monster, 178 yards receiving. Mazzoli's on his way to an MOP, threw for 338 yards. Did throw for 2 picks, and the Ticats have a ton of injuries at wide receiver, and it's not slowing down. It's just not slowing down Mazzoli and his numbers. I'm very impressed with them. Ticats also got Alex Green back today this week, and that's a huge plus. He's a big asset to their offense. He's one of the best running backs in the league. Ottawa looked bad in losing to the Eskimos last week. I had the Eskimos. I was ready to fade Ottawa and did that. Red Blacks led by 2 points going in the second half and then got beaten up. Trevor Harris looked pretty good. But again, and Lewis Ward, you'll see him in the NFL. He's hit 43 straight field goals in the CFL. He won't be in our league for long. Huge injuries on the Redbacks. Defensive backs, Bruno and Randall Evans are both out. Linebackers, Avery Williams and Kevin Brown are both out. They're bringing in Aki for his first start after being acquired by the Alouettes. Listen, those injuries hurt, and I'm on the Ticats full game. Please give them to me.
Okay, you want the Ticats full game. All right,
Yes.
Hold on 1 second. Let me just find. I'm looking around here.
No worries. I can keep moving on to the next game.
Yeah, go ahead to the next game.
And then I hate doing this. I hate doing this, and often blows up in my face going against my home team, whether it be NHL or CFL, although we did hit with fading the Canucks last game. I'm on the Eskies. I'm on the Eskies to beat the Lions. My man, Kelly McMillan, and listen to this. This is really interesting. Kelly McMillan likes the Eskimos to roll all the way to the Grey Cup, to not lose a game this year, to win this game, get the crossover berth, beat who I think will be the Red Blacks in Ottawa, then beat the Ticats in Hamilton, and then have a home Grey Cup game, likely, maybe not, because the Bombers will have something to say about it, but probably against the Stamps. That's very exciting stuff. I wanted you guys to know that that's what he's thinking, because if Eskimos lose this game, they don't even go into the playoffs. And he's really believing. I believe he's even got like 7 units on. I know he put at least 3.5 in. And he was going to do another 3.5, taking the Eskimos to win the whole Grey Cup. This is last place team in our division. They're tied right now, but Buono and the Lions have a game in hand. Listen to Mike Riley. I woke up at 4 a.m. on Sunday, the day after the game. I put on the TV tape immediately. Just about every single play I saw our offensive line picking guys up. They played amazing. We expect that of them every week, and they certainly come out and give us everything they've got. This quarterback's waking up 4 a.m. the day after a game to watch tape. These Eskimos could run. Shout out to Kelly McMillan and everybody in Edmonton. They could run. Glenn Man says, yes, the Grey Cup is in Edmonton this year. I'm on the Eskies. I hate doing it. Lule is back healthy and leading this team. The Lions also got Tyrell Sutton. They just picked up Tyrell Sutton. Maybe you guys remember him. I mean, it was about 7 years ago. He was running back for Northwestern, 9 years ago. But he's really added to this Lions machine here. He's playing very good. 22 carries for 106 yards. They're coming off a huge upset in Calgary. Calgary seems to take their foot off the gas late in the regular season. Glenn Man says, should be a very tight game in Vancouver. I'm on both road teams here, which is not something I like to do, but I'm doing it here. I like Ticats, and I want the Edmonton.
All right, well, Hamilton, we can give you -1, -110. That's the current line at Greek. And then Edmonton, they're +1.5 or 2. Do you want the +2 at the Greek and Bet365?
I want the money line if I can.
You want the money line on that one?
Sense.
Okay, let me see. So the best line we could give you on the spread would be +2 -110, and the best money line would be at the Greek +115. You want that one?
No, you know what? I think it's gonna be a very close game, and I probably should take those couple points.
Okay, money line +115 or +2 -110.
I'll take the +2 -110.
Okay, +2 -110, and Hamilton -1 -110. Those are Jimmy the Bag's plays. All right, now let's quickly move on to NFL. Anything you want to add, Jim, from the NFL?
Not at this point. At 4 p.m. Eastern, we have the Audible. Whale Capper will be on the show with us. A lot of work to be done. I would like to do the work then and not. I will be so much sharper, and my focus will be much better on this late show that we have. I really would like to take a deep dive in NFL if we can for the late show.
Yes, absolutely. That's what we'll do. Dwayne Reed has just hit us up with a bunch of plays. I'll read those. Charlotte +17, Tennessee +28.5. Interesting. NC State +16.5. Vandy, Kentucky under. Cincinnati, Temple over. Dwayne Reed also likes Buffalo. Wow, a lot of people that we really respect here liking Buffalo. He likes Auburn -3, Oregon to win outright, Ball State to win outright, Memphis plus the points, and the Utah-USC game over. Interesting. And let's wrap up this.
How lucky are we that we have these incredible cappers
lucky.
giving us all their plays? Kyle
Jack's talking about the Eastern Michigan second-string quarterback probable. Although, Eastern Michigan, of course, has 2 quarterbacks. Both of them pretty impressive. I'm thinking that the line move is because of the wind. I didn't quite realize the wind was as strong as it is now being forecast. I checked the beginning of the week, and I saw some low single digits. So I'm thinking it might be because of the definitely it's because of the wind that total dropped down. And let's wrap up the show. Adrian Ganeka says, how's it going, Loshak in the bag? Glad to be here again. Love this show and you guys. Thank you very much, Adrian Ganekis. How's it going, Loshak in the bag? Not bad. Not bad is how it's going. You want to answer him, Jim?
It's going good and everything except Major League Baseball.
All right, there you go. We'll be back at 6 o'clock Eastern time.